Hi, today we are going to talk about a very important question. So this question is important not only for perspective of interview but also from the perspective of developing problem solving skills or from the perspective of thinking. So we will not only solve this problem, we will just go through the thought process, we will think through the solution, we will see that okay, I haven't solved this problem before, how will I approach this particular problem and come with the solution. If the solution is not the optimized one, how I am going to optimize that particular solution. In that process, we will come across an algorithm and we will see that algorithm as well. So let's get started. So first I will make you understand the question, then I will tell you what is the approach. Make sure you try it your own no matter whichever approach you come across. You come across brute force or anything. Try to solve this problem. Once you have solved this problem, come back to see what is that we are discussing further. Okay, so let me first tell you the question. So the question is, given an array, find the majority element if exists. So we have to find the majority element in the array. I have to explain you what is the majority element. So majority element, any element occur more than n by 2 times is the majority element. Here n by 2 equals to 4. N by 2 is 8 by 2. Total element is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So 8 by 2 is 4. So in this case, here the majority element is 7. So 7, occurrence of 7 is more than 4 times. Occurrence of 7 is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So occurrence of 7 is more than 4 times. So here I can say that 7 is the majority element. Occurrence of 2 will be 1 times, sorry, 2 times. Occurrence of 3 will be 1 times. Occurrence of 7 will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5 times. So I can say that here 7 is the majority element. So just try and solve this one first, pause the video and try and solve, then come back to this particular problem. I hope you try the solution. So let's just see. I have to solve this particular problem. I don't know any existing algorithm or anything like that. So what I will do it is I will pick up any element from this array and go through a complete array and to check that what is the number of times this element occurring. So I will get a count. So I will get a count. Okay. Count of the number of times element is occurring in the array, and just I will check that whichsoever element is having count greater than n by 2, count greater than n by 2, that is going to be our majority element. And one thing you need to understand is that there will be only one majority element. If it exists, there could be possibility in not even a single majority element, which is fine. But in that case, we will just print there is no majority element. But if there is a majority element, there always be just one majority element because let's say like 8. Okay, so there is one element which is occurring at least 5 times. Which is occurring at least 5 times. Okay, then any other element will occur at most 3 times. So here only one majority element, right? So as I said, the brute force approach could be I take any particular element, I count its frequency, I take next element, count its frequency in the array, and what I will do is I will see is whichsoever count is greater than n by 2. That is going to be my majority element. If you know this is brute force approach that we are coming across with, I have an approach. I can't say that I am not able to solve the problem. I am able to solve this problem. But if you are not able to come up with this brute force approach, I just suggest you do more of logic building practice. Solve more and more problems because here this is something that I can crack only with the logic building capacity that I have. Okay, so in this case, if we see what is the time complexity, so we'll have two loops. We'll have two loops. Okay, one for fitting the element, one loop for going across each and every element and fitting the element, and another nested loop for calculating that what is my frequency of that particular element. Okay, so let's choose 7. So I will choose 7. So here I will go through each and every element and check what is the frequency that is similar thing like do for 2, 7, 3 and so on. Since we have nested loop, so the time complexity is n by 2 times. Nested loop, so time complexity is O of n square. Okay. Okay. So now let's say what I have to do is, let's say you have are in interview or something, interview tells you this is fine, but you need to optimize this code. What is the other option I have? So whenever you are using an array and you have something like order of n square, just see one thing. If I sort the array, will that help in any manner? I am repeating. If I sort this array, will that help in any manner? So I just given a hint. Again take this hint, sort an array. See if you are able to see the any pattern that will give you an answer. Okay. So let's say I sort this array. After sorting this array, the arrays look like that. Something like 2, 2, 3, 7, 7, 7, 7, and 7. Okay, so now one thing is that I am saying the majority element will have the count greater than n by 2. Okay, which means that the mid element should be the majority element. So let's say in this case my mid element is 7. So mid element is 7. Okay, so let's say this is my majority element. Okay, in order to check this is my majority element or not, we have to just count the frequency of that particular element. We have to count the frequency of that particular element. Okay, count the frequency of 7. Okay, so if the frequency is greater than n by 2, then this is my majority element. Else if frequency is not greater than n by 2, this is not my majority element. So let's take a few examples to understand this process better. So just write down the algorithm we saw just now. Okay, so first we have to sort the array, then find the mid element. After finding mid element, find the frequency of mid element. Then after if frequency is greater than n by 2, then this is my majority element, else this is not my majority element. Okay. So what are the steps we did? Number one, first sort the array. Next, so suppose to sort the array, find the element that is my mid element or not. So you just count the frequency of mid element. Then if frequency is greater than n by 2, just print it is majority element, else it is not majority element. Okay. So let's just see few test cases to understand that whether this particular approach that we are doing works fine for all the test cases or not. So we will just check for some test cases just before we proceed to even further optimize approach. So we have see the time complexity. We have to see the time complexity is for sorting the array. For sorting the array, the time complexity will be order of n log n. Order of n log n. Okay, n log n. For sorting the array, the time complexity will be order of n log n. And finding the frequency again, it takes the time complexity of order of n. Order of n log n plus order of n. Okay. So what happens is that for finding the frequency, we can further optimize it to log n. So we can further optimize it to log n. Okay. So now let's just see some examples. So in this case, let's say examples like, first we have to erase this one. First we have to erase it. Okay. So what happens is that for finding the frequency, we can further optimize it to log n. So now let's just see some examples. So in this case, let's say examples like 1, 1, 1, 2, 3. Okay. So in this case, mid element is 1. So mid element is 1. Okay. We can see that the frequency of 1 is 3. The frequency of 1 is 3. Okay. So this is my majority element. Now let's say another examples. 1, 2, 2, 2, 3. Okay. So in this case, 2 is my majority element. 2 is my majority element. So the frequency of 2 is 3. That is greater than n by 2 times. Let's take an example where no majority element. So let's take an example like 1, 2, 2, 3, 3. In this case, n is equals to 5. So where n is greater than 5 by 2, so this is when n is greater than 5 by 2, then this will be the majority element. So where n is equals to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So n equals to 5 by 2. Okay. If n greater than 5 by 2, then this will be my majority element. If this element exists, so simply return there is no such majority element. Okay. So as you can see that the time complexity for this is again order of n log n. N log n. Okay. Okay. So now let's say again, if you are write this code, you get time limit exceed error. Okay. Or put in interview, and interviewer tells that okay, maybe you can optimize it further. So what are the other option we have? Maybe we can try for order of n. Maybe we can try to optimize further for order of n. So let's see if we can solve this problem without sorting the array again. For this, we have to solve more test cases to understand the pattern. So let's go ahead and see. Okay. Okay. So now let's try to again observe some pattern here. Let's say it's like 7, 2, 7, 3, 7, 2, 7, 7. Okay, I hope I have written it correct. 72737. Yeah. So in this case, the count of 7 will be count of 7 will be 5. Okay. Count of 7 will be 5. Count of 2 will be count of 2 will be 2. Count of 3 will be 1. So if you see, if we subtract the count of 7, from any non-majority element. So let's say here total count of non-majority element is 2 plus 1, 3. So subtract the count of 7 minus count of non-majority element, that is 2 plus 1. Okay, so what I am doing is subtract the majority element. You can see that eventually you will get the count. Let's say count is diff, so we initialize count is as diff. Okay, count is diff. So diff as non-zero positive element. Okay, so diff gives a non-zero positive element. Diff is non-zero positive element. Non-zero positive non-zero positive element. Okay, so what I am doing is, if I am subtracting the count here from here, this here from here, get some non-zero positive integer. So get some non-zero positive integer, which means that let's say if there is a majority element that exists and I am traversing this array from here to here. So let's say I keep a count and every time I find a majority element. So let's say I keep an count and every time find a majority element. Okay, so I will first erase it, then you will understand better. Okay, so find the majority element. So if I am subtracting the count here and we traversing the array, so let's say I keep the count every time and find the majority element. So majority element defined as measure and count is initialized as count. Okay, so I find a majority element, I will increment the count, and every time I will find the non-majority element, I just decrement the count. At the end of the loop, if there will be a majority element, then this count to be greater than 0. So let's say the majority element will be first we traverse the array from here to here. The majority element will be 7. Okay, and the count becomes 1. So now let's see how this particular thought process will give me a solution. So what I will do is, here I do not know the majority element. I will just assume 7 is my majority element. I will just assume 7 is my majority element. Okay. Since this is the first element, okay. And what I will do is, I'll just go ahead. Let's say I'll keep major as element. Okay, which always keep a strike that the majority element, and I will keep count of the majority element. So for the first element, count will become 1 because that is the first element. So what I will do is, I will just initialize measure equals to 7 and count equals to 1, which means that the majority element I am assuming have a count 1. Now next time what happen is that I come across 2. In this case, we have to check 2 is equivalent to 7 or not. No, 2 is not equivalent to 7, which means I have to reduce the majority count. I have to reduce the majority count to 0. Okay? Reduce the majority count. So I see the majority count becomes 0. Now it becomes 0. It means that till now we had only two elements, 7 and 2. And none of them is a majority element. Both 7 and 2, none of them are a majority element. I know for sure is that till now if this is becoming 0, which means 7 is not the majority element. So what I will do is, I will update my measure to 2. I will update my measure to 2. Okay, that may be 2. The majority element may be, I am just assuming, okay, I am assuming maybe it's measure. Now I go ahead and find 7 is equivalent to 2 or not. 7 is equivalent to 2 or not. So not, 7 is not equivalent to 2. So my measure will be 2 and update the count to 1. Okay, count will become 1. Now I come here again. Now I come here again. My count becomes 0. Then again I will do the same thing. The count will become 0. My measures will become 7. And then again count will become 1. Then I again do that same thing. My measure will become 3 and my count will become 1. Okay. Again I am doing same thing. My measure will become 7 and my count will become 1. Now when I come here, what happens is that we have 7 which is equivalent to 7. Okay, so majority remains same. So majority remains same and the counts will be incremented to 2. The count will increment to 2. So now at the end the measure is 7. The measure is 7. At the end the measure is 7. Okay, at the end the measure is 7. Now when I come here, so now as the major element, so I have just assumed the 7 is the majority element. I have to verify that. I have to verify that whether 7 is majority element or not. So what I will do is again I will iterate through this array. I will iterate through this array that will take extra O of n time. That will take extra O of n time, and then we will check the frequency of 7. If the frequency of 7 is, if the frequency of 7 is greater than n by 2, that will give me the majority element, else there is no majority element. So now you must be wondering, the count is greater than 0. Count is greater than 0. Okay, and I also got the element. Why I will to need again and check whether this element is majority element or not? I'll just give you a test case. So first erase it. First erase it. I'll just give you a test case like 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. There is no majority element. In this case, there is no majority element. Initially, my major element will be 1. Initially, my major element will be 1. My count will be 1. Okay, then what happens is that count becomes 0, then initialize measures becomes 2, and again count will become 1, then again measure will become 3 and count will become 1. Again what happens, measure becomes 4 and count becomes 1. So now what happens is that the count is greater than 1. Count is greater than 1 and having 4 as the major element. Okay, but 4 is a major element? No. So that why to verify with the whatever is coming at the end, is the majority element or not. So we just go through the array. Okay, so we have just explained you the process. I will implement this code into IDE. Okay. So what I wanted is that till now, whatever we have done just now is actually the algorithm, which which is actually a Moore voting algorithm. I will just write it down. So just now we saw this is called a Moore voting algorithm. Okay. So here this is called a Moore voting algorithm. So we have just seen now everything. It's called Moore voting algorithm. So in this algorithm, first we will create a variable to store the measure and count, then traverse through an array from start to end. Then after, for every element in the array, run another loop to find the count of similar element in the given array. If count is greater than the maximum count, then update the maximum count and store the index in another variable. If this count is greater than n by 2, then print the majority element, else print there is no majority element. So let's implement this code in our IDE. So let's start. So let's implement the code in our IDE. So let's get started. So first we have to initialize the n variable. Then we have to take an input from user as n. Then initialize the array of n. Then after we have to initialize the variable measure or count. Measure and count. Okay. Measure equals to 0 and count is initially 0. Okay. Then after it we have to get an array from the input from the user. So we have to run a for loop for this. For I equals to 0, I less than n, I plus plus. Then C in array of I. Okay. Then after it, for every element we have to traverse through the array from a start position to end position. For every element in the array, run another loop to find the count of similar element in the given array. So first traverse through the array from start position to end position. So run a for loop for this. I equals to 0 to I less than n, I plus plus. Okay. In this we have to calculate for every element in the array, run another loop and find the count is similar element in the given array or not. So for this, if count equals to 0, then measure equals to array of I, and count equals to 1. Okay. Else array at measure equals to array at I, then if count is greater than maximum count, then update the maximum count and store in the another index of variable. So for this, else if array at measure is equal to array at I, then this is a ternary operator. I have used here a ternary operator. If this happens, then increment the count. If array at measure equals to array of I, then increment the count. Else decrement the count. Okay. Else decrement the count minus. Okay. So break the for loop and check whether if measure is greater than n by 2 or not. If the maximum count is greater than n by 2, then print the majority element, else we print there is no majority element. Okay. So if measure greater than n by 2, measure is greater than n by 2, then cout will be is the majority element, sorry, space element. Okay, then we have to given a space over there, and else if major is not greater than n by 2, then we have to print there is no major element, there is no majority element, majority element. Okay, and here we have to initialize the I as integer. So let's run the code. Let's run it. I will again explain this code. First, we have to initialize the n integer for the given array, and then we have to initialize the array variable as array of n. We have to take the array as an input from user, so we have to run a for loop in this given range 0 to n and input the array as array of I. And for traversing to the array from start position to end position, we have to run a for loop from 0 to n. In this given range, if count is equals to 0, then major will be array of I, and we have to count initialize count as 1. Okay, else if array at major equals to I, then we have to increment of the count and else decrement the count. If major is greater than n by 2, then it is majority element, else it is no major element. Okay, so we have to run this code and check whether my output is right or wrong. Okay, running, it's compiling. Sorry, here I have given an error, I plus plus I plus plus I plus. Okay, here I missed I. Okay, so again run it. Okay, so in is 8 and take the input as 7 2 7 7 2 7 2 7 3 7 2 7 7. Okay, sorry, here I have missed the major variable. Okay, so major, again run it. 8 7 2 7 7 7 2, sorry, 7 2 7 3 7 2 7 7. Okay, enter. So in this case, in the example input I have taken, so 7 is the majority element. So I have taken another test case where there is no majority element. So let's take a test case like this: 1 2 3 4. We have taken a test case like 1 2 3 and 4. Test case 4, n equals to 4, 1 2 3 and 4. Then enter it. So here no majority element. So this is order of n solution, and the time complexity will be the time complexity of this approach will be order of n, and the space complexity of this and this is of order of 1. So as I said that this is a Murray voting algorithm. It is a very famous algorithm. So That's how we try to solve a problem. When we come across a problem for the very first time, again I will just repeat that. The next time, whenever you are solve the problem, start at with the brute force approach. If you are not coming with directly to the optimized solution, then try more and more test cases and try to find the pattern. Then you will be able to solve this problem. Okay. So please like and subscribe the video if you like it. Okay. Bye.